If you ask 10 different people about ghee, you will probably get 10 different opinions. Some call it healthy, some call it pure cholesterol, while others believe that adding just 1 teaspoon of ghee to their food makes it super nutritious and super healthy. So who's right? The answer in nutrition, as always, is very nuanced. So today, let's separate tradition from science. First, let's see how ghee is prepared. Ghee is essentially clarified butter. So while preparing ghee, water and milk solids are completely removed, leaving behind what is almost pure milk fat. Nutritionally, 1 tablespoon, that is 14 grams of ghee, contains around 120 kilocalories and 14 grams of fat, out of which 9 grams is saturated fats. It also contains small amounts of fat-soluble vitamins like vitamin A, vitamin E and vitamin K. It also contains trace quantities of naturally occurring trans fats and conjugated linoleic acids, also called CLA. Unlike regular butter, ghee contains almost no quantities of lactose or casein, which is a good news for people who are lactose intolerant because they can tolerate ghee better than they can tolerate butter. But do not mistake better tolerated for healthy food. The biggest question is ghee good for the heart? And this is exactly where opinions start becoming emotional. Many believe that since our grandfathers used to consume ghee regularly, it must be protective for our heart. But evidence tells a different story. Many international guidelines, including the ones from American Heart Association and the European Society of Cardiology, recommend limiting saturated fat intake because replacing it with the unsaturated fats lowers LDL cholesterol and reduces cardiovascular risk. Only 1 tablespoon of ghee provides nearly half of the daily saturated fat limit recommended for someone who is consuming around 2000 calories a day. Now, here's an important distinction. Eating small quantities of ghee as part of an overall healthy diet is very different from adding multiple spoonfuls of ghee to every meal. Dose matters. What matters even more is your overall dietary pattern. Supporters of ghee generally mention 2 compounds, butyrates and CLA. So today, let's look at both of them. Butyrate is a short-chain fatty acid that's beneficial for gut health. However, the quantity of butyrate present in ghee is relatively small. In fact, the bacteria in your gut can produce far higher quantities of butyrate simply by fermenting dietary fiber from foods like fruits, vegetables, legumes, and whole grains. Then there is CLA, which has shown interesting effects in laboratory and animal studies. But in humans, the evidence remains inconsistent and the amount naturally present in ghee is too low to produce meaningful clinical benefits. So while these compounds are interesting, they are not strong enough reasons to consume large amounts of ghee. Now, here's a glaring question. Does ghee have any benefits? Absolutely yes. Unlike many seed oils, ghee has a high smoke point, that is around 250 degrees Celsius. That makes it relatively stable for high temperature cooking. It also enhances flavor and increases meal satisfaction. And if you're Indian, it carries cultural and culinary significance. And eating traditional foods is an important part of sustainable healthy eating. The key is remembering that cultural value does not automatically equal unlimited health benefits. So next question, is ghee better than refined oils? First of all, this is not a like-to-like comparison because different fats serve different purposes. For everyday cooking, oils rich in unsaturated fats such as mustard oil, groundnut oil, sesame oil, olive oil or rice bran oil generally have stronger evidence supporting heart health. Think of ghee as a flavor enhancer rather than the foundation of your fat intake. There are a few groups of people who need to be little more mindful while consuming ghee. People with high HDL cholesterol, people with diabetes with cardiovascular risk, obesity, people with established heart disease or a strong family history of premature heart disease. So these are the at-risk populations. For healthy individuals who are otherwise consuming a balanced diet, moderate amounts of ghee are unlikely to be harmful. Problems usually arise from excess consumption, not occasional use. So, is ghee healthy? Yes, absolutely, but in moderation. Is it a miracle food? No. Is it harmful? Not when consumed sensibly as part of an overall balanced diet. The healthiest diet isn't built around one superfood, it's built consistently over good food choices. More vegetables, more fruits, whole grains, adequate protein, healthy unsaturated fats, regular exercise, good sleep, and appropriate portions of each. A teaspoon of ghee can absolutely fit into the picture. But no amount of ghee can compensate for poor dietary choices and an unhealthy lifestyle. If this video helped you look beyond the marketing and understand the science of ghee, consider subscribing to my channel.